That I think the structure and process that General Kelly put in was probably too much.
How does that sound to you, Bill?
That's going to be just great. I mean, I just want to say I agree with Amanda and actually Robbie. John Bolton, I worked with him when I was in government. He's a serious, hard-headed guy who pushes hard for his point of view, but he's a Jim Baker guy, after all, at the State Department. He worked under George W. Bush and did a pretty good job on some non-proliferation issues. So I'm not sure he will be as different from McMaster as people think, but I still think McMaster did an awfully good job. Yeah, no chief of staff, that'll be great. That will be like Trump Tower, right? I mean, Trump just calling up people and making random decisions. But I do think the important thing Bannon said for me was that Trump is on the warpath against
Mueller.
Against Mueller. I take that pretty seriously. I mean, the notion that Trump couldn't really fire Mueller, really, he just fired his national security advisor and his Secretary of State within 10 days, and he just fired John Dowd and brought in Joe diGenova as one of his lawyers who sort of thinks the whole thing is a conspiracy to get Trump. There's nothing there to investigate.
Almost as if he has experience and enjoys firing people, which nobody could have ever anticipated.
And Congress is going out of town for 2 weeks, which would not be a bad time to, you know.
Yeah, the show is not going to go on hiatus. We'll keep this conversation going. Can the Iran deal survive? John Bolton, the former Secretary of Defense and former head of the CIA, Leon Panetta, joins us next. Stay with us.
American Dynasties, The Kennedys, Sundays at 9 on CNN.
I'm very proud of the fact that I served. I was a C-130 mechanic in the Corps, so I'm not happy unless my hands are dirty. Between running a business and 4 kids, we're busy. Auto insurance, homeowners insurance, life insurance policies, knowing that USAA will always have my back. That's just one less thing you have to worry about. I couldn't imagine going anywhere else. They're like a friend of the family. We are the Cochran family, and we will be USAA members for life.
Save by bundling USAA home and auto insurance. Get a quote today.
I love my grandma.
As you grow older, your brain naturally begins to change, which may cause trouble with recall.
Learning from him is great when I can keep up.
Thankfully, Prevagen helps your brain and improves memory.
Dad's got all the answers.
Prevagen is now the #1 selling brain health supplement in drugstores nationwide.
She outsmarts me every single time.
Checkmate. You want to play again?
Prevagen, healthier brain, better life.
What's the value of capital? What's critical thinking worth? A basketball costs $14. What's team spirit worth? What's it worth to talk to your mom? What's the value of a walk in the woods? The value of capital is to create not just wealth, but things that matter. Morgan Stanley.
Every time I smiled, I had to cover my mouth because I was so ashamed. When the denture slipped, I would have to excuse myself and go to the restroom virtually in tears. It kept me from being able to speak properly. I could not eat corn, apples, baby back ribs. I did not want dentures to be part of my life. I pretty much decided dental implants were the route I was going to take.
Let's do a head-to-head comparison of dental implants versus dentures. With dentures, the ability to taste food, to bite and chew is altered. The worst thing about dentures, bone loss. When you put an implant inside the bone, which is like the root of a tooth, now you preserve the bone. It's a game changer. With implants, you walk into a restaurant, you order anything you want. You eat just like you have real teeth.
Before you knew it, here I was with my brand new teeth.
Schedule your free consultation today. We'll even talk about financing options.
I can smile, my confidence is back.
Call Clear Choice today.
Did you know that every time you use the internet, you put yourself at risk? Not only can your internet service provider see every website you visit, hackers can see your transaction details, strangers can monitor your children's activity, and your information can be exploited without your knowledge. That's why you need NordVPN. NordVPN uses military-grade security protocols that protect your information so no one can see what you do online. In just a few clicks, you can protect up to 6 devices for just $4 per month. Don't risk being hacked. Install NordVPN and protect yourself from annoying ads, cyber criminals, and strangers, all while you enjoy secure streaming, ad blocking, and malware blocking benefits. For ultimate online privacy, there's only one solution: NordVPN. To get military-grade security for the whole family on up to 6 devices from just $4 per month, visit NordVPN.com/TV today.
This is CNN, the most trusted name in news.
We're back with our politics lead. The president has replaced his national security advisor, Lieutenant General H.R. McMaster, with defense hawk and former UN ambassador under George W. Bush, John Bolton. How might that affect how the United States interacts with the rest of the world? Former Defense Secretary and CIA Director Leon Panetta joins me now live. Secretary Panetta, always good to have you on the show. I want to read you what former Bush State Department official Richard Haass, chairman of the Council on Foreign Relations, tweeted about the Trump presidency now. He wrote, "Trump is now set for war on 3 fronts: political versus Bob Mueller, economic versus China and others on trade, and actual war versus Iran and or North Korea. This is the most perilous moment in modern American history, and it has been largely brought about by ourselves, not by events." Do you agree?
I think Richard Haass has hit the nail on the head. I think we are in a very dangerous and disruptive time with an awful lot of threats that we're facing abroad. But this president has also added now a trade war and at the same time is by virtue of the moves he's making indicating that there could be a preemptive military action that we could get involved with as well. And so it is without question a dangerous moment. I don't think we ought to take any of this lightly.
So Trump campaigned, as you recall, as a non-interventionist. He said he was opposed to the Iraq War, opposed to U.S. involvement in Libya. He told me one time that the Middle East would be better off with Saddam Hussein and Muammar Gaddafi and Bashar al-Assad all remaining in power. You see John Bolton and perhaps even incoming Secretary of State Mike Pompeo pushing him in a more interventionist, aggressive, preemptive position?
Well, I'm not sure I know where President Trump stands on anything, to be truthful. I mean, he did come in on the basis of kind of retrenchment, falling back from leadership in the world, not getting involved in wars in the world. And yet at the same time, he is somebody who talks tough about war in Iran, or he talked tough to North Korea as well. So it's very difficult to understand where he's coming from. It is clear that in his National Security Council, we are now seeing a move to the right, to a hawkish and more militaristic viewpoint, both with Bolton. Pompeo is a hawk as well. And so Jim Mattis is the one who's got his hands full trying to see if he can provide some common sense with regards to the decisions that this president makes.
The president has now replaced almost half of his senior staff since taking office 14 months ago. It's unprecedented in modern politics. What do you make of all this? And as somebody who was once a chief of staff, as well as holding several positions in several administrations, is this any way to run a railroad?
Well, every president that I've worked with, both on the outside as well as on the inside, presidents seek stability for the nation. They seek stability for their White House operations. I don't know of a president who likes chaos in the past, but this president likes chaos. And so that's what we've got. We've got a staff that is turned over, almost 45%. It's constantly changing. People are not sure whether they're going to be there the next day. It creates an atmosphere in which the staff finds it very difficult then to know whether or not they're going to be supported by the president and what indeed should they be doing in terms of presenting policies to this president. This president likes to operate on his own. He basically thinks he's the smartest guy in the room. But in terms of dealing with the complex issues of foreign policy, let me tell you, every president that I know has found out very quickly that they need to know more in terms of the decisions they make.
All right, Secretary Leon Panetta, it's always good to see you. Have a great weekend. Thanks so much.
Thanks very much, Jay.
The Playmate and the porn star, do their Donald Trump timelines match up?
My first thought was, how could she have been with him when I was with him?
Now Stormy Daniels' lawyer is dropping hints about what evidence they have of an affair. Stay with us.
I'm a fighter. Always have been. When I found out I had age-related macular degeneration, AMD, I wanted to fight back. My doctor and I came up with a plan. It includes PreserVision.
Only PreserVision AREDS 2 has the exact nutrient formula recommended by the National Eye Institute to help reduce the risk of progression of moderate to advanced AMD, backed by 15 years of clinical studies.
That's why I fight. Because it's my vision. PreserVision.
Dear foremothers, your society was led by a woman who governed thousands, commanded armies, yielded to no one. When I found you in my DNA, I learned where my strength comes from. My name is Courtney McKinney, and this is my Ancestry DNA story.
Now with 5 times more detail than other DNA tests. Order your kit at AncestryDNA.com.
It's a great time to let go with the Samsung Spring for Something New event. Upgrade to Samsung appliances and get up to $500 back.
Did we officially decide that he gets to be the fun one? Who's the fun one now?
Made with real cream. Ready with instant gratification.
Liberty Mutual saved us almost $800 when we switched our auto and home insurance.
Liberty did what?
Yeah, they saved us a ton, which gave us a little wiggle room in our budget.
Wish our insurance did that. Then we could get a real babysitter instead of your brother.
Hey, welcome back. This guy, right?
Yes.
Ellen.
That's my robe.
You could save $782 when Liberty stands with you. Liberty Mutual Insurance.
Need a change of scenery? The Kayak Price Forecast tool tells you whether to wait or book your flight now, so you can be confident you're getting the best price. Giddy up. Kayak. Search one and done.
Psoriatic arthritis tries to get in my way? Watch me.
I've tried lots of things for my joint pain. Now, watch me.
Think I'd give up showing these guys how it's done? Please.
Real people with active psoriatic arthritis are changing the way they fight it. They're moving forward with Cosentyx. It's a different kind of targeted biologic. It's proven to help people find less joint pain and clearer skin. Don't use if you are allergic to Cosentyx. Before starting Cosentyx, you should be checked for tuberculosis. An increased risk of infections and lowered ability to fight them may occur. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms of an infection, or if you have received a vaccine or plan to. If you have inflammatory bowel disease, tell your doctor if symptoms develop or worsen. Serious allergic reactions may occur.
With less joint pain, watch me.
For less joint pain and clearer skin, ask your rheumatologist about Cosentyx.
Dear Freshpet, Zuka had digestive problems and wouldn't eat. Then I fed him Freshpet.
Tinnitus affects millions of people, and in a recent study, sufferers tried lipoflavonoid for 60 days as directed. Those who completed the study reported a 32% improvement in their symptoms. Try lipoflavonoid 60-day challenge. If it doesn't work for you, you'll get your money back.
More in our politics lead now. Whether or not President Trump, his lawyers, and his allies are using various tactics, including intimidation, to silence women with whom he allegedly had affairs, will soon be decided by judges and courts. The president has been uncharacteristically silent as porn star Stormy Daniels and 1998 Playboy Playmate of the Year Karen McDougal both file cases. Let's bring in CNN's Sarah Seidner. And Sarah, how much do Karen McDougal and Stormy Daniels have in common in terms of their stories?
It's incredible. We noticed many, many, many similarities from the two women who say they had affairs with Donald Trump. The parallels are unmistakable between these two women, porn star Stormy Daniels and former Playboy model Karen McDougal, who say they were silenced about their alleged affairs with Donald Trump. The similarities are important because they show a pattern of alleged behavior, including intimidation, payoffs, and media influence by Trump's allies as he ran for president. Both say the relationships happened between 2006 and 2007, and both describe similar sexual experiences with Donald Trump.
Did he ever use protection?
No.
This happening around the time Melania Trump had her son in March of 2006. Both these women say Trump offered them an apartment in New York, which they refused. McDougal says she was well into the relationship when they both attended a Lake Tahoe golf tournament.
He came in one day and said, oh, there were a bunch of porn stars out there.
One of those porn stars, Daniels, who still has this memento.
I knew he talked to ladies, but I didn't know there was anything else. I didn't know he was intimate with other ladies.
Except for his wife, Melania, of course.
The only regret I have about the relationship that I had with Donald was the fact that he was married.
McDougal even met the now First Lady, but told Anderson Cooper she purposely kept her distance from Mrs. Trump. McDougal also attended Trump's vodka release party in Hollywood in 2007. Also at the party, Stormy Daniels. Friends say Trump invited her. Their parallels continued just before the 2016 presidential election, when the two women decided they wanted to tell their stories and somehow ended up with the same attorney, Keith Davidson. He brokered the deal for Daniels with Trump's personal attorney, Michael Cohen, to pay $130,000 as part of this confidentiality agreement. According to McDougal's lawsuit, she had no idea Davidson was also informing Cohen about her deal to sell her story involving Donald Trump to the National Enquirer, which it never published. And both women say they were later intimidated to keep them from talking.
AMI has put out a statement saying that you can talk to the media, that you're free.
Yeah, I saw that statement too. But according to their attorney, I can't. There'll be financial ruin.
Trump, Cohen, and the parent company of the National Enquirer, AMI, have all disputed various claims. Cohen says Trump denies the affairs ever took place and knew nothing of the deals. He says he doesn't remember any emails coming from AMI to him in McDougal's case and denies intimidating anyone. AMI denies any coordinated campaign to convince McDougal that she would be sued or that her reputation would be besmirched if she told the truth. Now, Keith Davidson, the lawyer for both Stormy at one time and the lawyer for McDougal at one time, has put out a statement saying that he has reviewed the lawsuit where his name appears, that is McDougal's lawsuit, and that he would like to talk, but he cannot talk because of attorney-client privilege. Jake?
All right, Sarah Seidner, thank you so much. What did the First Lady have to say at her first public appearance since Karen McDougal's interview? That's next.
At just $24.99, Ruby Tuesday's new dinner for two is bringing everyone together. Endless trips to the garden bar.
Wicked garden bar.
Choose 2 of 7 entrees.
I say Ruby, you say...
Can I just eat and a dessert to share?
Halo!
Dinner for 2 at Ruby Tuesday.
Have you been diagnosed with spinal stenosis, bulging or herniated disc, sciatica, or other chronic spine conditions? Are you ready to find lasting relief? Call Laser Spine Institute, the nation's leader in minimally invasive spine surgery, to learn how a less than 1-inch incision can have you up and walking within a few hours of surgery, free from chronic back pain and with no hospital stay and no lengthy recovery.
Call 1-800-347-BACK now for your free MRI review.
Take your first step in joining over 60,000 patients who found lasting relief at Laser Spine Institute.
My boss would send me home because I was in excruciating pain. Going to Laser Spine Institute, I go in, I have the procedure, and walk out a changed person, good to go back to work. It's changed my life completely.
If you've been told you might need neck or back surgery, call 1-800-347-BACK now for your free MRI review.
Laser Spine Institute, a less than 1-inch incision, a lifetime of standing tall.
You had a lot of good ideas. You spent time planning, searching, shopping, but it wasn't quite right. So you looked at more options, more styles, more colors, and it still wasn't perfect. At LaurelAndWolf.com, design is easy and fun. You'll get paired with a designer who understands your style and budget, and our price match guarantee gives you the best value. Create your dream space at LaurelAndWolf.com.
It's the buy one, get one free paint sale at Ace.
Our biggest paint sale of the year.
Buy a gallon of our top paint brands and get one free.
And you know what else is free? Our help.
With the Ace Extra Mile Promise, if you don't get everything you need in one trip, we'll bring it to you. And the delivery is free.
Don't miss the buy one, get one free paint sale. Get great savings on our top paint brands, Valspar, Clark & Kensington, and Royal. Now through Monday, only at Ace.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
That's all it takes? Guess I'll bring a can of this stuff everywhere. Yeah, then I'll become the world's best dad.
Made with real cream. Reddi-wip, instant gratification.
This is an apple. Some people might try to tell you that it's a banana. They might scream banana, banana, banana over and over and over again. They might put banana in all caps. You might even start to believe that this is a banana. But it's not. This is an apple.
Oh, that's old.
The milk?
No, my credit score's a month out of date.
That's why I use WalletHub. I get free credit reports and scores, and they're updated daily.
Daily updates?
Yeah, your credit score can change by 100 points in 1 week. So why use an app with stale data?
And it's really free?
Yeah, WalletHub is always free and always fresh. Fresher than this milk.
Sign up for WalletHub now for your free credit reports and scores.
I won this 55-inch TV for less than $30 on DealDash.com.
I got all this for less than $50 on DealDash.com.
These aren't actors, they're real people who got real savings at DealDash.com, the fair and honest bidding site. At DealDash.com, you can save up to 99%, but hurry, everything must go.
And shipping is always free.
Visit DealDash.com and start bidding today.
This is CNN, the most trusted name in news.
We offer a free book on mesothelioma. Call for the free book and receive so much more. Call 1-800-831-3700.
Closed captioning brought to you by OnlyMeso.com.
So just moments ago, President Trump departed the White House. His ultimate destination is Mar-a-Lago. He was not accompanied by his wife, Melania Trump, on his way to Air Force One. She is, however, expected to join the president for the weekend. This all comes, not coincidentally perhaps, just hours after a former Playboy Playmate of the Year apologized to the First Lady in prime time for what she claimed was an affair that she had with Donald Trump. The First Lady spoke not long ago here in Washington at an event honoring women of courage. Questions, of course, are swirling about her reaction to these claims from Karen McDougal. The First Lady has, of course, in the past sent various subtle but unmistakably public signals about her discontent with the situation ever since the Stormy Daniels story broke in January. CNN's Kate Bennett joins me now. And Kate, I can't help but think it must be horrible to have to go appear in public and in front of cameras just hours after another woman goes on TV and says she had an affair with your husband and they both professed their love to one another.
Yeah, I think you're right, Jake. I think that the issue with the interview last night was just how sort of gut punch it felt. It was words like love. It was knowing that perhaps she was in the apartment, that there was a picture of them together. This has been a busy week for Melania Trump. She's had 3 events, which is rare for her, 3 speaking engagements. One was today, where she was supposed to speak at the Women of Courage Awards at the State Department on Wednesday, but the snowstorm pushed it to today. And the irony a bit of the speech today, she spoke about courage and the definition of courage and women of courage. And we can hear her for a second about what she talked about.
Courage is the quality most needed in this world. Yet, it is often the hardest to find. It takes courage not only to see wrong, but strive to write it.
So even though the speech was written days beforehand, it feels a little more telling today. As I always say, there's no Melania Trump coincidences. And now we're seeing her once again not make the walk across the South Lawn to Marine One with the president. She's instead meeting him at Andrews. I've reached out to the First Lady's office for comment. I have not heard a response as to why. She is headed to Mar-a-Lago, where she will stay for the remainder of the week. The president's supposed to come back, but she will stay on as the family has spring break plans down there. But again, this is a difficult time. I mean, these headlines broke with Stormy Daniels back in January. So here we are almost in April. And she's had to deal with this while finding her footing and, you know, still getting a lot of criticism about being a not as vocal First Lady, sort of feeling more independent. I'm not hearing a lot from her. She's different. And this isn't necessarily what she signed up for. It's that strange job with no salary and no defined role. And here she is thrust in the middle of all these headlines.
You've spoken to a lot of people close to her. Any reaction at all to the Karen McDougal interview last night? And has she had a chance to see a preview of the Stormy Daniels interview coming up Sunday night?
So we just don't know the answer to that. She has remained remarkably quiet throughout this whole thing. Her office is very small. She has a small staff. They're incredibly loyal to her. So we have not necessarily heard anything yet. However, she's been sticking to the plan. She's been going business as usual. She posted a picture yesterday on her Twitter of her and the president standing on the Truman balcony in the snow. So, you know, business as usual. She's not really batting an eye. So I guess we'll have to see after Sunday night.
Although, again, one of these subtle signals, not walking across the lawn with the president. Kate Bennett, thank you so much.
Thank you.
They've been everywhere from a CNN town hall to a Time magazine cover, and in just hours they're going to be leading a march in Washington. But will that be enough? Two of the Stoneman Douglas students join me next. Stay with us.
Dear great-great-grandfather, you made moonshine in a backwoods still, smuggled booze, and dodged the law. Even when they brought you in, they could never hold you down. When I built my family tree and found you, I found my sense of adventure. I set off on a new life 1,000,000 miles away. I'm Heidi Schwanier, and this is my ancestry story.
Now, with over 10 billion historical records, discover your story. Get started for free at Ancestry.com.
Hello, give me an hour in tanning room free. Cheers.
That's confident. But it's not kayak confident. Kayak searches hundreds of travel sites to help me plan the best trip, so I'm more than confident.
Forgot me goggles.
Kayak. Search one and done.
At Joseph A. Bank, save up to 60% off almost everything. All 1905 and executive sport coats, $149. All dress shirts, 2 for $89. Plus, get all traveler suits, $249. And find exactly what you're looking for. The up to 60% off sale, only at Joseph A. Bank.
I love my grandma.
As you grow older, your brain naturally begins to change, which may cause trouble with recall.
Learning from him is great, when I can keep up.
Thankfully, Prevagen helps your brain and improves memory.
Dad's got all the answers.
Prevagen is now the #1 selling brain health supplement in drugstores nationwide.
She outsmarts me every single time.
Checkmate. You want to play again?
Prevagen, healthier brain, better life.
Having moderate to severe plaque psoriasis is not always easy. It's a long-distance run, and you have the determination to keep going. Humira has a proven track record of being prescribed for over 10 years. It's the #1 prescribed biologic by dermatologists. More than 250,000 patients have chosen Humira to fight their psoriasis, and they're not backing down. For most patients, clearer skin is the proof.
Humira can lower your ability to fight infections, including tuberculosis. Serious, sometimes fatal infections and cancers, including lymphoma, have happened, as have blood, liver, and nervous system problems, serious allergic reactions, and new or worsening heart failure. Before treatment, get tested for TB. Tell your doctor if you've been to areas where certain fungal infections are common, and if you've had TB, hepatitis B, are prone to infections, or have flu-like symptoms or sores. Don't start Humira if you have an infection.
Join over 250,000 people who have chosen Humira. Ask your dermatologist about Humira and go.
Well, like most of you, I just bought a house.
Very nice.
Now I'm turning into my dad.
I text in full sentences.
I refer to every child as chief.
This hat was free. What am I supposed to do, not wear it?
Next thing you know, I'm telling strangers defense wins championships.
Well, it does.
Why is the door open? Are we trying to air condition the whole neighborhood?
At least I bundled home and auto on an internet website, Progressive.com.
Progressive can't save you from becoming your parents, but we can save you money when you bundle home and auto.
I mean, why would I replace this? It's not broken.
The only thing more remarkable than what they achieved was the corruption that made it all possible.
Italy becomes shorthand for evil.
Pope, Sunday at 10 on CNN.
Okay, be good, kiddo. I gotta go to work. I love you. Bye.
Dog home alone all day? Who knows what they'll get into? A day without a walk is a sad day for your dog. But now you can make your dog's day with WAG, the on-demand dog walking app. Get a WAG-certified walker to walk your dog at a moment's notice. WAG walks are insured and bonded. And WAG walkers are vetted, experienced dog handlers who'll give your dog the affection and attention they deserve. WAG has live GPS tracking and will even tell you where your dog marks its territory.
My dog pooped.
WAG, the #1 on-demand dog walking app. Get your first walk free when you download the app now.
The Situation Room with Wolf Blitzer. Up next on CNN.
We're back with some sad news in our national lead. 16-year-old Jaylin Willie has died after being taken off life support, her mother said. She was shot on Tuesday by an armed classmate at Great Mills High School in Maryland. One other student was shot in the leg during the incident. That student has been released from the hospital. The school resource officer managed to get to the gunman before he could injure anyone else. Willie's family said she loved the beach, the snow, and was a role model to her 8 siblings. 5 weeks after another deadly school shooting, students from Parkland, Florida are still working to make sure that the gun violence they witnessed on February 14th is not visited upon any other schools in the future. This weekend, they and thousands of others are converging on Washington, D.C. and in other cities for the March for Our Lives in hopes of persuading lawmakers to take action. Parkland students and organizers of the march, Emma Gonzalez and Alex Wind, join me now. Thanks for being here. Good to see you guys again.
Thank you for having me.
So let me just start with, how are you? How are you doing?
I mean, after hearing this news, it's never easy.
The news about the girl in Maryland. Yeah, no, it's awful. You're going to be marching on the National Mall in front of the White House and the Capitol building. Congress and President Trump are not going to be there. Is that discouraging to you, or does it matter, Alex?
I mean, the thing is that it doesn't matter who's going to be there. What matters is that our presence is known. It matters that we're going to be there. And I think it's more powerful that they're not going to be there, because it shows that, you know, if they're not going to be there, we're just still going to march. We're still going to make our voices heard, because no matter what, we're going to be there. And honestly, they haven't been there in the past. Congress has remained incumbent on this issue for years now, and we've seen it with all the past shootings. And now we're showing that it's time for a change.
So the president just tweeted moments ago, and I don't know if this is in anticipation of the march or not, but he wrote, quote, "The Obama administration legalized bump stocks, bad idea. As I promised today, the Department of Justice will issue the rule banning bump stocks with a mandated comment period. We will ban all devices that turn legal weapons into illegal machine guns." Obviously, the bump stock issue is one that had to do with the Las Vegas shooting, not with the Parkland, Florida shooting, but it is a step in the right direction, I imagine you would think.
Yeah, definitely. That's a very important step. Bump stocks could have made the situation very bad, and I know that he was confronted with someone who said, like, here's a way to get a free bump stock, and that could have been us.
So it could have been worse. Here you are. Let's show you on the Time magazine cover, because it's a pretty remarkable picture. There's 2 of you with 3 of your classmates. Do you still feel like a high school student? You're a junior, Alex. I mean, this is, you know, going on CNN and talking about a horrific experience and laws changing is not normally what kids go through. Are you still able to be a kid?
I mean, the thing about it is, before this, I was the same person. It just feels like I have a different brain now. It just feels like, you know, my personality, my body is all the same. It's just everything now is hardwired differently, not only because of what we went through, but because of now I'm looking at a completely different goal. I'm looking at a completely different future. Everything on February 14th completely changed who I am.
And Emma, maybe you and David Hogg are maybe the most recognizable of your classmates, and I've seen you two specifically attacked more, including by people running for office, than I've seen other kids or even other politicians. Is that? I know, look, I'm 49 and it's not easy to be attacked one way or the other. How is that for an 18-year-old?
I mean, we're kids. We live in high school. that's bullying central. We know how to, at least we know how to deal with that stuff. You know, like, I'm able to laugh it off because that's how I was raised, is to not take that stuff seriously. The best way to incapacitate someone's opposing argument based on like who you are as a person is to laugh at it and say, I'm the first to admit that I am, you know, bald. So like, it doesn't really matter to me whether or not you call me a name, because like, as I mentioned before, being called a lesbian is not a bad thing. But also, like, that person doesn't know me, and that person got their comeuppance. You know, like
You're talking about the politician.
Yeah,
in Maine,
the politician,
yeah.
exactly. Like, I don't want to say karma's going to get you, but like, be kind. Like, it's just as simple as that.
Yeah, I think it also shows, you know, how much our generation has changed from past generations, because mostly it's adults that are showing hate to us when kids are supporting us and teenagers are supporting us. It just shows that, you know, there's such a generation divide, but obviously there's still support from the older generations and some hate from the younger generations, but it's really mainly adults that are attacking us.
What do you make of some of the criticism from your conservative classmates that this conversation has shut them out and their point of view?
They're getting a platform of their own. I know that a lot of them have been talking on Twitter, they've been talking to politicians, and, you know, we support, if you're gonna make your voice heard, then do it, by all means. That's not, like, when we're fighting for, you know, our 5 main points are banning the use of...
banning the use of assault rifles,
Thank you.
amending the Dickey Amendment, making sure that the ATF is able to digitize gun sales, as well as expansive and universal background checks.
And high-capacity magazines is the one that I always forget. Thank you.
And those are the 5 points that you're pushing.
Yeah, the thing is that, to us, this is not a partisan issue. It's an issue of life or death. Because really, in the end of it, everyone has their own idea of how this needs to change, but I think we all agree that this needs to change. The mass shooting epidemic we have in this country is terrible. We're really the only country that has this epidemic of it, yet every other country has, you know, mental health issues and violent video games and violent movies. So what are we doing wrong as a country where this keeps happening?
Well, it's special to have you here. I hope you guys enjoy Washington. I hope it goes swimmingly, peacefully, and well.
Thank you very much.
And best of luck to both of you. You in college, and you still got another year of high school, young man. All right, thanks so much for being here. Appreciate it. Be sure to tune in this Sunday morning to CNN State of the Union. My guest will be Democratic Senator Tim Kaine. We'll cover the march and much more. It all starts Sunday morning, 9 a.m. and noon. That is it for The Lead. I turn you over now to Wolf Blitzer in the Situation Room. Have a great, peaceful weekend.
Happening now, breaking news, no choice. President Trump claims he had to sign the $1.3 trillion government spending bill, but he slammed the Republican-controlled Congress and railed against many of the measure's provisions. Why didn't he follow through on his threat to veto it? Indecision. President Trump picking up his third national security advisor in some 15 months, the latest in a series of shakeups rocking his administration. And now sources are telling CNN the president is vacillating on a new addition to his legal team. Why is he having second thoughts about a well-known attorney? And in love. A former Playboy model says she and Donald Trump were in love over the course of a 10-month affair. But Mr. Trump has been unusually silent about Karen McDougal's exclusive tell-all interview with CNN. And now Stormy Daniels is getting ready to speak out. Stormy's lawyer will join us live. I'm Wolf Blitzer. You're in the Situation Room.
This is CNN Breaking News.
We're following breaking news. President Trump signing a $1.3 trillion spending bill, averting another government shutdown by just hours. But the president blasted the measure, which he had threatened to veto, and he slammed lawmakers who sent it to him, calling the situation ridiculous. We'll talk about it with Senator Ben Cardin of the Foreign Relations Committee. He's standing by along with our experts and our analysts. But up first, let's find out why the president signed a bill he clearly did not like. Our senior White House correspondent, Jeff Zeleny, has the very latest for us. Jeff, the president said he had no choice.
Wolf, the president did say he had to sign this bill largely because of the military spending that was inside that $1.3 trillion spending bill. Now, the president left the White House just moments ago, had a smile on his face and a bounce in his step, but he was notably walking alone. He's flying, of course, to Mar-a-Lago this weekend, but the First Lady was not with him, and he did not answer The questions that were thrown at him about Stormy Daniels and Karen McDougal, of course, that is hanging over him as he heads to Mar-a-Lago after signing that spending bill.
President Trump vented, but backed away from his last-minute threat to veto a $1.3 trillion spending bill to keep the government running through September.
I say to Congress, I will never sign another bill like this again. I'm not going to do it again.
But the president did sign this bill, despite loud objections from fiscal conservatives about the soaring price tag.
There are a lot of things that I'm unhappy about in this bill.